Welcome to the Joy Fantasy Football Show with me, Owuraku Ampofo. With the second international break of the season shortly upon us, we take a look at the FPL point top scorers since the last international break in Gameweek 5. The international break usually serves as a window of opportunity for FPL managers to reassess and re-strategize with their teams. On this week's episode, we will be highlighting under the radar picks who have been in top form in the last 3 game weeks to help you re-strategize. While you're here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more FPL tips throughout the season. You can join the Joy Sports Classic League with the code LHSNOB and stand a chance of winning amazing prizes. We start straight from the goalkeeping department and we go straight to Brighton Hove Albion and Ryan. He has 1 clean sheet and 12 saves, amassing up to 16 points in his last 3 fixtures. Those fixtures were against Burnley, Newcastle and Chelsea, and he has been one of the most amazing keepers so far, especially after game week 5. In the next 5, he faces Tottenham Hotspur, Aston Villa, Everton, Norwich and Manchester United. The Leicester right back has been a revelation after the previous international break. He scored 2 goals and had 24 points, and those were in fixtures against Manchester United, Spurs and Newcastle. His attacking prowess, coupled with his good defensive side, makes him an amazing pick for FPL, and he could be that defender that saves your season. In his next 5, he faces Liverpool, Burnley, Southampton, Crystal Palace and Arsenal. Not a usual pick, but defensive woes to Manchester City has made Otamendi a premium pick, especially looking at Pep's team. In the last 3 games against Norwich, Watford and Everton, he's managed 1 goal and 1 assist, amassing to 17 points, and with the long layoff to Laporte and John Stones, Otamendi could be an interesting pick to look for in terms of defensive points. In the next 5, he faces Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Southampton and that big one against Liverpool. The Liverpool left back failed to start the season well despite a very, very high price tag, but he's slowly justifying why he is that expensive. And Robertson so far has 1 goal, 1 assist and 1 clean sheet in his last 3 fixtures against Newcastle, Chelsea and Sheffield. In those 3 games, he has totaled 19 points and he faces Leicester City, United, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Manchester City in his next 5. The 2019 Africa Cup winner has been nothing short of sensation in his past 3 fixtures against Norwich, Watford and Everton. 26 points for him, scoring 2 goals and 2 assists, leaves Mahrez a very, very good differential pick in that Manchester City side despite facing the risk of rotation. When he usually does start a game, he usually does return with a lot of points. And in his next 5 against Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Southampton and Liverpool, he could be key given his low ownership. West Ham have started the season strongly, and one player who has been key to that good start has been Ukrainian Yarmolenko. Last season he did suffer a lot of injury, and that makes him feel as if he's a new signing this season, a man who has a mission written straight all over his face. 2 goals in his last 3 games against Aston Villa, United and Bournemouth. That's making him a good pick looking at that West Ham side. In that same period, he did manage 23 points and he should be able to replicate such good form against Crystal Palace, Everton, Sheffield United, Newcastle and Burnley. Aston Villa haven't scored a lot of goals this season, but whenever they do, you can be assured that Josh McGinn is involved. 2 goals in his last 3 games against West Ham, Arsenal and Burnley leaves him with 21 points in that period, and his next fixtures are Norwich, Brighton, Manchester City, Liverpool and Wolves. You can be assured that Aston Villa would be getting some goals, so McGinn could be that differential you could look at. Aubameyang this season has been what Messi is to Barcelona. Arsenal have been over-dependent on the Gabonese international, and in his last 3 fixtures against Aston Villa, Watford and Everton, he scored 4 goals, getting 27 points. And with Lacazette out and his good form so far, he seems to be the focal point of Unai Emery's attack. He also did get a rest during the week in the Europa League fixture. So in his next 5 fixtures against Wolves, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Southampton and Liverpool, you can be assured that the striker should be starting and continue banging in some goals. Josh Kane is certainly one striker who has been under the radar. A lot of FPL managers did vouch for him in the beginning, but due to a slow start, he seems to have been dished and he is gradually coming back into the picture. In his last 3 games against West Ham, Southampton and Everton, he has got 24 points, and this was due to the fact that he scored 1 goal and got 3 assists. In his next 5 games, he faces Arsenal, Norwich, Watford, Man United and Newcastle, and with all these 5 sides, you could clearly see defensive problems written all over, and Josh Kane could be your man. The man for Burnley at the beginning of the season was Ashley Barnes, but it seems as if he's passed that baton over to Wood, who has been in good form in his last 3 games against Brighton, Norwich and Aston Villa, scoring 3 goals and getting 22 points. In his next 5 games, he faces Everton, Leicester City, Sheffield United, Chelsea and West Ham. While it's always dangerous to pick a Manchester City player as a captain for the fear of them not playing, it's almost impossible to continue to ignore the form of Riyad Mahrez. 2 goals, 2 assists and 25 FPL points in City's last 2 matches has thrust him into FPL managers' thinking. And his interplay with De Bruyne has been particularly impressive. Owned by just 3.6% of FPL managers at the present, Mahrez is also 1.5 million cheaper than the previously mentioned De Bruyne, and 3.5 million cheaper than 37.6% owned Raheem Sterling. His underlying statistics have been fantastic in recent weeks, and no more so than in the match against Everton, where Mahrez recorded more shots on goal and more key passes than any of his teammates. With Wolves travelling to Turkey to face Besiktas on Thursday in the Europa League, fatigue could be the Achilles heel of Nuno Espirito Santo's side. With the second blank in 2 game weeks, as of writing, Timo Pukki is currently the most transferred out player this game week. But a match against fellow newly promoted side Aston Villa could be just what is needed for the Pukki party to get back on track. The 2 sides met over the course of last season's championship. While Pukki was not in the squad for Norwich's home game, he did manage a goal in his side's 1-2 victory away from home. In their home Premier League matches so far this season, the Finn has scored 5 goals along with 2 assists at an average of 13.33 FPL points per appearance. His form has been impressive in front of his own fans, with Pukki yet to return fewer than 11 FPL points in a home match this season. Aston Villa, meanwhile, have yet to keep an away clean sheet this season and are giving up an average of 24.7 shots per game to their opposition when on their travels, the worst record in the Premier League. One chance was all Aubameyang needed to demonstrate why he is always the potential captain material. Invincible for large portions of the clash with Manchester United on Monday night, Aubameyang clinically took the opportunity afforded to him as he notched his 7th goal of the season. The Gabonese striker still sits as one of just 3 players to record attacking returns in each of the opening 7 games of the season, and is currently averaging 7.57 FPL points per appearance. The Arsenal striker will look to keep his streak going in a home match against Bournemouth in Gameweek 8. A club in which he has 2 goals in 2 matches, having scored both home and away against the Cherries last season. Aubameyang has scored in 7 of his last 8 home games. With 3 goals in his last 4 games, Harry Kane is now up to 5 Premier League goals for the season, and he's enjoying a bit of a purple patch after his relatively quiet start. Next up for Spurs is a trip to Brighton, a place where Kane has an excellent record. The sides have met just twice at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League, with Kane finding the net in both of them. While Kane's goal-scoring form is undeniable, the benefit of captaining Kane over Manchester City assets is that he is pretty much guaranteed to start and play the full 90 minutes every week. Following the surprise benching of Aguero in Gameweek 7, that sort of certainty is comforting to FPL managers, particularly as the volume of games start to increase over the next couple of months. Thanks for joining us on the Joy Fantasy Football Show. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more FPL updates throughout the season. You can join the Joy Sports Classic League with the code LHSNOB and stand a chance of winning amazing prizes. See you next week. Until then, may your arrows be green.